Hello, Paul Mayer here, a Vietnam veteran that was captured and able to escape and return to my family. I want to talk to you about some concerns that I have with the way things are going today. I'll start with a little history going back to a time when I was born, when World War II was in progress. Most of the world joined together to fight the Nazi regime in World War II. This is when Adolf Hitler was out to take over the world. Does this sound familiar to you about what's happening today in America right now with Trump and his actions and his goals? World War II was the deadliest military conflict in history. An estimated total of 70 to 85 million deaths were caused by the conflict, representing about 3% of the estimated global population of 2.3 billion in 1940, deaths directly caused by the war. All of those sacrifices were to save the world from tyranny and to be free people. We cannot let them just be forgotten. I have a short video clip that sounds like what we are actually seeing here in America right now. So I'll put that on in a second.
Terrible things are happening outside. Poor helpless people are being dragged out of their homes. Families are being torn apart. Men, women, and children are being separated. Children have come home from school to find out that their parents have disappeared. Diary of Anne Frank, 1943.
What you just heard was an excerpt from Anne Frank's diary, written when Hitler was doing the horrible deeds. Now we are seeing Trump doing the same things here in America. How in the world can we allow history to repeat itself and destroy our American way of life, liberty, and justice? I have another short video of a World War II veteran that fought and lost a lot of his friends in Germany fighting Hitler's army. And I want you to see this emotional feeling of what Trump is doing to our American way of life.
I am so upset that the things we did and the things we fought for and the boys that died for it, it's all gone down the drain. Our country's gone to hell in a handbasket. We haven't got the country we had when I was raised, not at all. Nobody will have the fun I had. Nobody will have the opportunity I had. It's just not the same. That's not what our boys, that's not what they died for. It's just not it. Just takes me time to get over it because why me sitting here like?
We cannot let that valiant warriors' efforts go to waste for securing our freedom to live in a safe and wonderful world. We all need to get out and be heard and let Trump know that us Americans, we will not stand for his tyranny and desire to crush our nation. We can all do this, as you will see in this short video from a candidate for U.S. Senator, Kevin Ryan, that I enjoyed meeting yesterday and getting to know him and his stance on our future in this free, safe world without a tyrant in our country.
Trump wants us to be violent. He wants us to be violent so he can justify the use of the military in our cities. We just saw a federal judge, which he appointed, declare that it is unlawful to send in the National Guard to Oregon and that the president's determination was, quote, untethered to the facts. They want us to be violent so that they can justify this. The violence isn't happening, so they're just making stuff up. They're being violent, they're using brutal tactics to make it look like there's an emergency. They are fabricating an emergency to justify the militarization of democratic cities. Now, I've been at these protests. These are nonviolent demonstrations. They say angry things, they swear, but they have righteous anger because rights are being violated. But to show the contrast between us and them, I encourage everyone to join me in a silent protest. Do not attack them verbally. Show up with a sign. Stand firm and silently. If they're going to increase their violence, we must increase our nonviolence. It's going to take all of us. We cannot rely on someone else to do this for us. Everyone needs to step up.
I want to thank Kevin for his video, and I'm wishing him success in getting elected. My next video clip is to show you just how bad things are getting in Chicago with Trump's Gestapo.
Did you hear about the midnight raid in South Shore in Chicago? Here's what just happened and why this matters to you. Are you ready? Let's go. So last night in Chicago's South Shore, federal agents, ICE, swarmed a residential building. Did y'all hear about this? Okay. Now, this was in the dark of early morning that this happened, and the operation actually left these black folks, these residents, traumatized. Because wouldn't you be? Yeah. So questioning constitutional boundaries was absolutely what happened, and demanding accountability is the next thing. So voices from the ground, and what we should be watching for is what we're getting ready to go over right now. You ready? If you're not, go ahead and scroll on now, because a lot of y'all like to argue and stuff and say that we're lying and we're making this up. But baby, this was reported on by their local news. So the raid took place around 75th and South Shore Drive, according to DHS. There were 37 arrests that were made, with the CBP, the FBI, and the ATF that was involved. Now, their media confirms that U.S. citizens were among those that were detained, though temporarily. Now, residents report agents asking names, birth dates, and demands of warrants, even unrelated ones. There is actual video of people in zip ties being led to a nearby school lot at 1 o'clock in the morning. Now, witnesses have actually described tear gas, flashbangs, property destruction, and van transports segregating black people from immigrants. Now, here's what some of the folks that were there actually said. They just treated us like we were nothing. It was scary because I had never had a gun in my face. They asked, "Do you have any warrants?" I told them, no, I didn't. They're like piling us all up. It wasn't no room to move anywhere. They was terrified. The kids was crying. They had them zip tied together. One of them literally laughed and said, "Fuck them kids." They had big 15-inch chainsaws cutting the fence down. They had the black people in one van and the immigrants in another. I was placed in a plastic zip tie handcuffs and detained for nearly 2 hours. Once I went into the hallway, they put us in the plastic wristband thingies. They just took our information. Someone else said, "I don't like how they did it, because us Americans, we didn't have anything to do with them." Now, these aren't isolated testimonies, folks. These are a painted pattern of mass detentions, indiscriminate treatment, and fear in a black neighborhood with Americans. Okay. So here are the constitutional concerns. The raid raises urgent Fourth Amendment questions: search, seizure, warrants, detaining U.S. citizens under suspicion of immigration violations or unrelated warrants erodes legal protections. Number one, racial and community impact. So South Shore is predominantly a black neighborhood. So this kind of forceful nighttime raid, sweeping entire buildings, fuels distrust, trauma, and the question, who is being policed? But we don't need to ask that question, because what were you doing there anyway? You already knew. Transparency and accountability. DHS, ICE, they've made statements but have not released full arrest records or evidence backing gang affiliation claims. Communities deserve clarity. But in this case, no one cares until it's your neighborhood. Precedent and ripple effect. If allowed unchecked, this kind of tactic may expand into other vulnerable neighborhoods across the country. So here's the question. You ready? Is ICE or DHS publishing detailed warrants or arrest justifications? Which detainees are being charged and for what? Do we know? What legal challenges are going to follow? Will constitutional rights be asserted in court? How will community leaders respond? Protests, legal suits, public pressure, we're going to see about that too. And what federal oversight or local pushback will emerge from this? Because the question is if you're doing this in one Black community, oh baby, listen, this is just the beginning. So what's your call to action? Share this information, look for answers, continue to keep your ear to the street, and demand answers from your elected officials in your community. Find out how protected you are and learn and understand exactly what that amendment says. And what is that? The Fourth Amendment, folks. Let's not get beside ourselves and not do the research or the due diligence that is necessary. It is the Fourth Amendment. Because see, when your neighbors are terrorized in the middle of the night, silence is complicity. Are you complicit? Hope not.
If you actually believe things like that with Trump's Gestapo are not like the 1930s in Germany, you really need to wake up and go out and see for yourself. If you believe it's okay to do this type of terrorizing thing to human beings, then there's no help here for you, and you will end up in hell with Trump and his enablers. I personally cannot believe that he has run through the Project 2025 list and turned us into a war-torn country in such a short time. I have one last video clip to share to just remind you again of what has been taken away from us in recent months. Remind everyone that it's not Democrats against Republicans, but it is right and wrong. Time is getting short before we all see the end of our beautiful country fade away. Please share this video with everyone that you know, and God bless America, and thank you for watching.